Is this thing on? Yes, it is. Great. Okay. I'm actually out at the farm today to do some shooting, but it turned out to be such a perfect day that just before I left, I thought, okay, let me chuck some stuff into the back of the truck, including my cameras, and let's film another quick episode for the Toyota Hilux Overland series build. And this one was inevitable because these lights have been on this vehicle for many months already, probably 6 months, and they've gone on quite a few trips, and you will have noticed them, but I haven't yet spoken about them. So today we're going to be discussing the DAG Outdoor lights, but also the DAG Outdoor brand, because they are new to the market. And I'll be sort of giving you my experience of these lights, including things like, you know, how they've held up to extreme weather conditions and extreme vibrations on the road, the beam divergence, and my experience with the way that the light is focused, because obviously that's quite important. It's not just about how powerful the light is, but it's about how that light is actually focused onto the road in front of you, and just sort of give a bit of history about the brand. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, I am not a light expert. I'll be the first to say that. I haven't had a ton of experience with all kinds of different lights from all kinds of different brands. So my assessment of these lights will be more a direct comparison with the Hella Supernovas that I had on here before this. But Hella is a very established brand, so you're going to get quite a good idea in that comparison as to value for money and what you're getting with these. And they're very different lights, so we'll talk about that as well. But first, let's introduce DAG Outdoor. Funny story, I actually had my my Hella lights fitted at LA Sport, and I've had a lot of stuff done at LA Sport, and I've kind of built a little bit of a friendship with these guys over the past few months. And a bit of backstory, I've never asked for anything for free. I've never asked for any sort of sponsorship. I've actually wanted to keep this overlanding channel free from all outside influence and just have it completely, you know, I pay full price for the product, and in return I know that I can do whatever I want with my vehicle, and there's no interference or anything like that. So that's always been my sort of philosophy. But I got a call from them one day, and they kind of said to me, hey Matt, we starting on this new venture, we're going to be developing our own brand, and we want you to test some of these products. Just, you don't have to show anyone, you don't have to tell anyone, you don't have to do any marketing or anything. We just want your feedback. And I like that kind of attitude, because that's how you know someone's you know, doing things for the right reasons, when all they're looking to gain from it is a better product through feedback from other people. So I said absolutely, not a problem. And they basically switched out my Hella Supernovas with these. These are 8.5 inch spotlights, and I got a chance over the next few months to actually test them out. And it got to the point where, you know, my original plan was to switch them back out and put the Supernovas back on, and maybe just sell these, because obviously I can't return them and resell them after they've been used. But I like these so much that I actually ended up getting rid of my Hellas and leaving these on. So that's a testament to sort of how they've performed and where they stand. But they do all kinds of products, and they've been really good to me. So check them out below. But let's talk about the lights themselves. So the first thing you need to know is that because these lights were test units, they are actually a little bit different to what the final product looks like. These are completely unbranded. There's no brand names on them. The actual product does have sort of branding laser engraved, and they'll also have these nice plastic covers that are branded available that you can put on the lights. But the other thing you need to know is that these 8.5 inches, as far as I know, are not actually available right now. I think they did a bit of market research and realized that 7 inch was more popular, and they ended up sort of deciding not to mass produce these, and they're doing these. But essentially they are the same design, made in the same factory. Almost everything's the same, aside from just the diameter. So I will do sort of a direct comparison, and I'll also be taking the 7 inches out here. I just asked to borrow them for a day so I can show you what they actually look like out of the box with the branding and everything. But I'll speak a little bit about my experience with these. Now, first thing you need to know, let's talk about durability, because that's obviously really, really important. I've taken these on the entire Namakwa Eco Trail with all the severe corrugations and bumps. I've taken them on another 2 trips which I haven't published yet, where I did a whole tour around the Western Cape, over mountains and everything, and more recently I've done a trip all the way around the Drakensberg, where actually it was like some serious off-roading through mud, through ice, down well into the negatives at night, up to 3,000 meters elevation, then back down, and the total elevation gain and loss of that trip was 43 kilometers of elevation gain and loss. So that was a serious trip, and these guys have held up really well. In fact, they've actually held up better than the Hellas, in the sense that the Hellas, although the lights themselves never gave me any issues, the mounts on the Hellas I found to be quite finicky. The way that they attached to the light, it was one single bolt with a rubber bushing in between, and if that came loose and the rubber bushing kind of fell out, then you're stuffed. The whole light falls off basically, and I had to cable tie those lights on at one point. But these, because there's 2 bolts on either side, it's a much more solid mounting system, and they have not come loose. I haven't felt the need to torque them down any more than the way they came from the factory. Even the bottom mounts here, the way that they're attached to this bull bar, they've been so solid I can actually put my weight on them and I'm not worried about them shifting. So durability, they've survived pretty much everything except a full-on bird strike, which I haven't experienced yet, thankfully. But I'd have to give them a pass for that, because I've done some pretty intense stuff and they've been just fine. Let's talk beam divergence, because this is something that quite honestly I did struggle with at the beginning. The Hellas are a very easy to use light in that the beam is quite diffused. It's not a very, very direct focused beam like you'd have on a very, very direct spotlight. They kind of light up a little bit of everything. So when I had those 2 Hellas on the front, I could kind of play around with quite a bit of freedom, and the way it lit up the road would be quite sort of easy on the eye. Whereas these tend to focus the light a lot more directly, and what I found was that when I first fitted them, I struggled to get them where I wanted them, and I actually didn't like the way that they shone at first, because I felt like I would notice, that one's just a little bit higher than the other, or that one's facing a bit outwards. I don't like that, and it took a while to get it right. However, when I did get it right, and kind of spread these out in a way that they lit up directly in front of me, but also kind of like, what's the word, complemented each other quite nicely, and met in the middle and got a good sort of peripheral light as well. I actually ended up preferring the way that these lit up the road to my Hellas. I just got more illumination further down the road, which is where you kind of need it. It's personal preference how you want your beams. Just keep in mind this is a much narrower beam than a lot of the Hellas out there, but you'll see on the footage that I took at night how these look, and you can decide whether that's right for you or not. So let's see what it looks like out of the box. And to be honest, I've actually not seen this yet, because obviously my set was pre-production, so I never got this lovely experience of unboxing. But it's all your mounting screws, lights themselves, there you go. That's quite nice, isn't it? I must say I prefer this look than the ones I have. The ones I have that mounting screw right in the middle of the light. These ones don't. I actually think this looks better. But as you can see there, 2 mounting screws, nice laser engraved logos. Very, very nice. I like as well that you've got this connection over here, because the Hellas that I had did not have this. They just had snipped wires and that to all be connected. So it's another thing to note. Let's pop these on and see how they look. That's very nice. I've got to say, that is lovely. Well, there you go, guys. DAG outdoor lights. Quick little review. I hope it answered some questions, and I will put a link down below so you can check out pricing and availability and all of that stuff. As far as I know right now, they're only available in Southern Africa, but hopefully they do start exporting. I think these would do very well overseas as well, especially considering value for money. It's really, really good. And I know you're going to ask, is there anything I miss about the Hellas? And yes, there's just one thing that I kind of wish these had, and that's the daytime running lights. The Hellas had a little strip down the middle that stayed illuminated when you turn the vehicle on. And I do kind of miss that, but I mean, in hindsight, that's just a little bit of extra style points. It doesn't actually have any effect on what these are designed to do, and that's to light up the road at night. So I'm willing to sacrifice that little bit of extra style for extra performance for the cost, and because these cost a little bit less than the Hellas, yeah, I'd say value for money is definitely there. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.